Hi everyone, and welcome back to the channel, where today I'm going to be filming a video talking about all the special experiences that I had when I visited Disneyland Paris. So here we go, the fourth video out of 5, all about the trip I did to Disneyland Paris in 2019. I just wanted to mention, I know a lot of people are asking when I'm going to be doing videos where I go for walks again, as they're missing that kind of content on the channel. Do not worry, they will be coming very soon, hopefully. There's just been a few things going on at home that has meant I have needed to be indoors. I don't want to go into too much detail about them because, you know, that's my personal life and I don't really want to share that on the channel. So just a couple more sit down videos, and then hopefully I'll be able to do some videos where I'm out and about, as well as carry on doing some sit down videos. As with lockdown, they're kind of inevitable on the channel for the foreseeable future, but I just wanted to quickly mention that. So special experiences at Disney can be range for so many different people, and I'm just here to talk about some of the special experiences I had. Some of them I had to pay a little bit extra to experience them, some I didn't, and some were just pure luck when I was there, and they're just priceless moments that I will never forget. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. One of the first things I have to mention is my encounter with Captain Jack Sparrow in Adventureland. Obviously Captain Jack Sparrow from Pirates of the Caribbean, and it wasn't a meet and greet where you had to queue. He was actually about to go on stage on a show that they do in that area of the park, and a few people managed to grab some photos with him, and I was actually walking towards Indiana Jones Temple du Peril at the moment in time when my encounter happened. So he was walking towards the stage, but he was trying to kind of like hide himself away from everyone on the path, so people wouldn't stop and ask him for more photos. And he actually grabbed me and used me as a human shield to kind of hide him away somewhere before he made his entrance, and luckily I managed to grab a really quick selfie with him when he was making me hide with him in this like really weird like wooden gateway. And it was just really funny because it just completely came out of nowhere when it happened. It took me by surprise, and that is one of the best character encounters I've ever had, purely because it just wasn't meant to happen, but it happened. And I will insert a little clip of the picture just after this little segment so you can see my selfie with Captain Jack. But it was just a nice memory and one to keep, because it's the moments you don't expect that make that trip to Disney just that little bit more magical. And I had to mention it because still to this day I find it really funny, and I feel very lucky that I got that character interaction with him. Next up, of course, I have to talk about the Princess Pavilion. I only queued in there once, but more about why a little bit later on. And I was so lucky because the time I decided to queue and the princess that you were able to meet was Snow White, and obviously me being me, I could have cried. It was just one of the most magical moments of my life, and that sounds really stupid coming from a grown woman, but when you've grown up loving that princess and her story so much, all your emotions are heightened when you meet the characters. Like, it's so strange, but she was just so lovely. And I had like a handbag which had her on, my phone case was her, So she's like, oh my god, you're really like a huge fan. So I had a really nice chat with her, and obviously got some lovely pictures, and I had the photo pass so I could get loads of nice professional photos with her as well. And they really capture the moments you have with these princesses and these characters. And so again, I'll insert some pictures after this little segment, so you can see my experience meeting Snow White. And I couldn't have asked for that meet and greet to go any better. She was so friendly, so were all the other cast members who were there taking photos or kind of talking to you in the queue, making sure they knew what language you were speaking so they could let her know the language you speak, so you would get that interaction with her, which is really, really good. And I think I queued about 2 hours to meet her, but it was most definitely worth it. Next up was one of the first extra experiences I paid a little bit extra for when I booked my trip, and that is the character breakfast. So I chose to do it on the Friday morning, so the first morning I was there, as I arrived on the Thursday afternoon. And so I woke up really early to go to the character breakfast, and it was so wholesome. Again, I could have cried. One of my favourite Disney characters ever is Tigger from Winnie the Pooh, and I got to meet Tigger, and like, he was the last character I met, so it was like the whole thing built up to meeting Tigger. And he just gave me a really big hug, and he's just really sweet. And I love the photos I got with all of the characters at breakfast. Obviously, I met Mickey, I met Piglet, I met Eeyore, I met Scrooge McDuck and Daisy, I think it's Daisy I met, and they were all just super cute, and it was so wholesome, and the breakfast was really nice. It was like a buffet breakfast, so I went up and got like some beans on toast, some bacon, had loads of tea, because cups of tea are amazing, the best thing to have in a morning. And all that character interaction just made it even more special. I love that photo I got with Mickey, as that was the one time I met him and I didn't meet Minnie or anyone else, so that interaction with Mickey was just really, really special as well. It's weird because, like, my mum says when you meet these people, they are literally just people dressed up in suits as a character, but when you're at Disney it feels so much different, and because you're so taken into this magical world when you're there, it just, you don't really care that it's a person in a suit. Like, in that moment it is Tigger you are meeting, or it is Mickey you are meeting, and it's just one of the best feelings and memories I will hold very, very close to my heart. So my second paid experience I did was the princess lunch, and that was amazing. Like, I cannot recommend that enough. It is one of the best experiences I have ever had in my life. So in there you get a full 3-course meal, so you have a starter, you have your main meal, and then you have a dessert, and you also have like a little aperitif, so like a small drink, and then you have a drink with your meal, and that's all included when you pay for it when you book your holiday, which is what I did. And you have no clue what princesses are going to walk through the door. Obviously 2 of Cinderella's mice are there, and I think Cinderella is the one princess you will always get is like her lunch, and she's inviting her princess friends to come for lunch, so you're guaranteed to get the mice and Cinderella. the mice actually was one of the best character interactions I'd ever had, and it was so funny. I was sat at a table on my own, obviously, because I was there on my own, and the mouse sat opposite me, and she was asking if I had a prince, and I was like, no, I don't. And she pointed at every male waiter that walked past me, like, maybe him. I was like, oh, no. And then she was like, oh, maybe he could be mine. And then it was like our secret, and like we were both laughing when he walked past and he just looked at us. And that was a really special character interaction. So on to the princesses, which is obviously the main event. I had Cinderella, I had Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel and Tiana. So a really good bunch of princesses, and all of them were so friendly and so good. Like, we had amazing conversations, especially one with Cinderella that will always be very special to me, is because my nan, her favourite princess was Cinderella. And you know, when I was growing up, she'd always used to tell me the story Cinderella. We used to watch the film, and she memorized it, and she could just tell it, and I could like act it out and pretend to be Cinderella. And I mentioned that to Cinderella, and it was just a really special conversation we had about someone very special to me, and a very special memory I have from growing up. And you know, it's really cute. Tiana is amazing. She is so sassy, and we took some really nice photos, and her dress was like huge, and she was just stunning. And I really want to go back and do the princess lunch again over the character breakfast. As much as I enjoyed that, I preferred the princess lunch, and in a heartbeat I would book to do it again. Another special experience at Disney that anyone can experience is, of course, the parade. And that parade is incredible. I wish UK parks managed to do a show or something like that, because it is incredible. The floats are breathtaking, especially the Maleficent one where the dragon breathes out fire. They're huge floats as well. Like, sometimes you may think, oh yeah, maybe they just look a bit smaller in person. No, they are huge. And it's got a really catchy soundtrack. You get loads of good character interaction while they're walking up Main Street, like Pinocchio. He waved at people. All the characters on the floats, they give you a wave. And then obviously the princesses and Mary Poppins and loads of different characters there. And it's just a magical experience, and it's a good length. When you're watching the parade, it's not over too soon. It goes on about 15-20 minutes, and the cast members who build up to the moment the parade starts is amazing. They are so full of energy. They get you dancing, they get you chanting, and it's just an incredible atmosphere. And I think that's what I took away from it the most, is this feeling of euphoria and joy and just pure happiness. And I've never ever felt that anywhere else, apart from Disney. And I just think it's a really special place. The last special experience I'm going to talk about for now is, of course, the fireworks at the end of every day at the castle. I think when I went, it was Disney Illuminations, and I watched it all 3 nights and cried every time. It's just magical. There's not really much to say about it. The fireworks are incredible. so pretty. And then you've got all the dancing fountains, and you've got fire, you've got like the pyrotechnics, and obviously the projections onto the castle, a really great soundtrack, loads of different characters make an appearance in the show, and it just flows through beautifully. And even now, when I look back at photos or I watch videos of that show, I still cry. And I have no clue why. It's a Disney thing, I think. It's just, if you go to Disney and you don't cry, then I don't know. Maybe it's a girl thing as well. Because when you see the castle for the first time in person as well, let alone when the fireworks are going off, like, I just had this overwhelming feeling to cry. It's just so magical, and it's a real escape from reality being at Disney. And I cannot wait to go back and watch those amazing fireworks again at the end of the day, as it draws the day to a really nice close, and you always go back to your hotel room with a smile on your face and just feeling really happy. And after the year we've had with obviously the pandemic, I think everyone just needs that little reason to smile again, whether that be a visit to Disney or a visit to another theme park, or seeing your friends and family, or doing something you love. You just need that little bit of happiness, and Disney never ever fails to bring happiness to me. So that has been the 4th Disney video in the series about my special experiences at Disney. We've got one more coming up, but if you have enjoyed today's video, please do like and leave a comment down below about some of the special experiences you've had at Disney, whether that be at Disneyland Paris like me, or at any of the other Disney resorts around the world. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe if you wish. If you enjoy listening to me talk or watching any of my other videos, I would really appreciate it. I have a lot of varied content coming up. Hopefully I will soon be able to go out on a walk and film a little series in a couple of local areas that are walkable distances from my house, as well as continue with some sit down videos that I have planned. And then eventually, when lockdown's over and I'm able to get out to places, there'll be lots of videos coming from various trips. But for now, I have been Lou, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!